Hello guys, and yeah, this is an early day drink review of a drink called Bang Rainbow Unicorn. So yeah, and the reason why I woke up very early today, and I'm like, I don't want to eat anything, so I'm gonna just drink an energy drink and watch Pokémon, since I planned on watching the entire series. And at the moment, I'm on season 3. I have watched. I'll talk about that after the drink review. It's called Rainbow Unicorn. Okay, it's a bit like what I'm expecting. A bit like, fuck, what's it called? Was it Lohilo? They did a drink called something Rainbow, and I'm expecting, and the colors of that one was similar to this can as well. On the can, that is. I mean, if it's called Rainbow Unicorn, I mean, when I think of unicorn, I do think of white, light blue, and like a bright pink. I don't know what the rainbow comes from, but alright. I mean, I'm expecting just a sweet berry flavor, like mixed berries. So yeah, and it's just, as I thought, it's really good. Actually, really, really good. Yeah, but it doesn't say what kind of flavor they're trying to imitate, but yeah, that should last a couple hours while I watch a lot of episodes of Pokemon. So yeah, I really like that. Probably one of the better drinks I've had. Too bad, no idea what kind of flavor it's supposed to be, because it isn't like, there's a Swedish candy called Sura flaskor. At least I think it's called Sura flaskor. Like fizzy bottles, Sura flaskor. It has a lot of like different names, whatever. And but the colors of those are always like blue, like this bright blue and pink. And I think it reminds a little bit of that, but not as sour. And I think those are supposed to be like a blueberry, raspberry like mixture. So that's what I think that is supposed to be. But it's good. Now, Pokemon. I mean, I've been watching Pokemon Journeys this year, and I think Pokemon Journeys have been pretty good. Just like any Pokemon series that I've watched, there are a fuck ton of just meh episodes, or just episodes that just feel like complete filler. I was like, oh god, you don't need to do an episode like this. Like, what's the point? Like, it's shit. And there are a lot of that, even in Journeys. And especially in the later episodes so far in Journeys as I'm watching this. I mean, oh god, how many episodes of Journeys have I watched? I think I've watched like 62 episodes. I'm gonna say 62 episodes. And I will say Pokemon Journey started off really strong. I would say the beginning of Pokemon Journey is really, really good. And then it started tapering off like I did not give a fuck about the whole Eternus, whatever it was called, and the vice president or President Rose. Like what the fuck? Like Pokemon Journey should not be about that at all. It should just be about Go trying to catch as many Pokemon as possible and to then encounter Mew, and Ash to become the best trainer in the world. And if Ash doesn't win in Pokemon Journeys, I would say that's pretty shit. I think this is a perfect opportunity to move on from Ash and Pikachu. Like, and I think it would have been so good if we would have just focused on those two things. Ash kind of becoming like a supporting role for Go, and while also, being like a super good Pokemon trainer. And there was a lot of that in the beginning of this season, and there was a lot of battles with the tourney and all that. But then later on, those things that I actually liked about the show just started becoming in the background, or like they wouldn't show it. They would just say like, "Oh, between episodes we did this," like, oh god. And instead of showing that, they're having like an episode of like Pokemon stuck in the ground, or oh god, what's that episode like? Oh no, like Slow King taking off his hat and putting it on Ash, and he becomes like, oh, super smart, blah blah blah. It's like, what the fuck? That's retarded. Even though I will say I really liked the Magikarp Jump episode of Journeys. That was actually fun, which was part of the Slowpoke episode as well. I mean, it was two short episodes put into one big one. The Slowpoke one, good. The Slowking one, shit. And then there was another episode that was like two short stories put into one. I just remember hating those two episodes. I cannot remember what they were, but I hated them. Yeah, so that was Journeys. So because of that, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back and look. What I remember watching Pokemon when I was young, but I actually didn't watch a lot of it. I mean, I did finish season 1 or season 2. Like, I finished the Indigo Generation 1, and also Orange Islands. Those two things I remember watching, and I rewatched a little bit of both of them. I rewatched entire of Orange Islands, and I watched a few things here and there of the beginnings. They hold up, just like I thought, just like I remember. Like, it was an okay show with some really good episodes, and yeah, that's what like I consider like season 1 was an okay show with really good episodes and some filler, but not that much, not as much as I remember. I think I've been a bit too harsh on the first season when I went back to rewatch it. I think it's because I mixed it up with Orange Islands. Because when I would rewatch Orange Islands, I'm like, oh man, there are like the finale of Orange Island when Ash fights the Orange Island champion. Don't remember his name. That's a really, really good episode. Like 10 out of 10. But pretty much everything else in Orange Islands is a bit like, most of it is like boring and not very fun. And then there are like some episodes there, like, oh, that's a good episode. So I think I mixed up Orange Island and season 1 a bit in my memory. But yeah, I rewatched it, good. And now I'm on season 3, which is when Ash is in Johto, and I'm planning on starting watching No Big Whoop, is what the episode is called. No idea what it's about, since I just start planning to watch it. But I will say, so far, season 3, I think I've watched 30 episodes. It's like 30 episodes into season 3. It's okay. There are good episodes like in it. But it is a season. I think this is when, in season 3, is when I stopped watching Pokemon when I was young. Because some of these episodes, when I watch them, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Oh, wait, I did not remember this episode. So I think during this time is when I stopped watching Pokemon, like when it came out on TV. And just watched it like from time to time on TV. And I also watched it in the Swedish dub. Because I was young. Yeah. I think, how old must I have been? I think I was 5 when that came out. Or was this? Because, I mean, when it came out and when I watched it being aired in Sweden, probably 2 different time zones, you know, 2 different like eras. So, yeah. But I plan on rewatching. Well, I say rewatching. I mean, I would probably say like 70 or 80% of Pokemon I haven't watched. So I plan on like watching Pokemon. And then I'll probably just like give my opinions on the series overall. But I did watch Sun and Moon. So that's one thing I have seen. I saw Sun and Moon. It was okay. I think it's worse than Journeys and worse than season 1. But it's better than Orange Islands. Yeah, so far out of the 4 seasons of Pokemon that I've seen, or I would probably say like 4 generations of Pokemon, because I mean, Johto, I think it's 3 seasons worth. And I think Sun and Moon was like 2 seasons, you know. Or was that 3 seasons as well? I don't remember. But I'm talking in generation. Like generation 1 I watched. Yeah, so I've watched 4 generations, I guess. But Orange Islands is generation 1, but I don't know, what would you call this? 4 arcs? 4... I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I need help. What should I call these things? Yeah, but I've watched 4 of them. And Sun and Moon is on the 3rd place. With Journeys probably being number 2, and then season 1 being number 1. Journeys was on number 1, but because of like the complete slowdown and just like I don't like that Ash only uses 2 Pokemon. He only uses Riolu or Lucario now, and Pikachu. It's like you have a bunch of other Pokemon. You have Gengar, you have Dragonite, you have Farfetch'd, like, but he never uses them. Like, yeah, and yeah, I don't want to talk about that since I think it's a pretty sad thing and a huge like waste of just a huge waste of. God, I really shouldn't record this early because I mean, as soon as I could get out of bed and sit on right here, like that's what I've done. So I haven't like started my brain. Um, yeah, but I did put out actually. Some codes, for Genshin Impact, and then I scheduled one for Aeon Classic as well. That will come out in a few days. Because I mean, I have Amazon Prime and I'm not gonna use these codes, so might as well just give them out to people who are subscribed to the first one who gets the code. And they're on the community tab. Yeah. So, time to watch Pokemon.